Hello everyone, you are watching a snippet of the Countdown program from December 19, 2022. Today is Monday. See the full version of this program on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Also subscribe to our channel on the Daily Motion resource if you want to receive our videos from the new year in the same volume as now. There will be fewer of us on YouTube in general access, and on Daily Motion, more. The patriots of the Russian Spring are now experiencing truly childish fears. On the eve of New Year's Eve, the terrorist Strelkov Gherkin warned of a possible attack on Moscow.
So to speak, I do not exclude the possibility of going to the New Year, or on some other day, an enemy strike either on Moscow, or on some other point. They will also be guided, among other things, by our air defense systems. To our possibilities. I don't know now how Moscow is covered, but they will definitely throw something out for the New Year. I don't know whether they are against Moscow or not, but 100% will throw something out. As we remember, they congratulated Vladimir Vladimirovich. Interlocutor, we warned about this, remember? We predicted. Gherkin, yes. We warned, but who listens to us? Only here are the listeners. Then they congratulated again. When Vladimir Vladimirovich rode over the restored bridge, they struck at our strategic forces. And they flew while all our air defense was watching so that the president, God forbid, would not be damaged on the Crimean bridge. So, something they throw 100%. It will depend on the mass character and availability of the chosen goal. It will depend on them, success or not success.
The World Cup ended yesterday, but even there it was not without our people. Fyodor Vertsilov and members of the Pussy Riot group were detained in Qatar. Longtime Russian intelligence agent Fyodor Vertsilov and his companions from the Pussy Riot group were detained in Qatar. They were preparing to run onto the field in the final match of the World Cup with a simulated protest under the slogan "No to War." In principle, everything is correct, the war must be stopped. But here curatorial goal setting, as in the case of Channel 1 editor Ovsyannikova. True, the scope is wider and the idea is larger. A group of good Russians was supposed to reveal to Qatar and the world the dove essence of Russians, loudly throwing in a pattern that this is Putin's war. But the security services of Qatar turned out to be more agile and did not allow a cheerful company of good Russians to enter the championship field. Moreover, from them a mile away carries Gebny. Let's start with the fact that the Pussy Riot brand itself was registered in 2012 by Natalia Karatonova, the owner of Web Biofilm Company LLC. For those who are not in the know, we recall that in those relatively vegetarian times, Natalia Karatonova was the wife of the then lawyer Mark Feigen. The very one that was defended by Pussy Riot after a brilliant performance in the Temple of the Meadow of the Builder, after which the flywheel of repression organically spun in the sphere of believing offenders. Then one of the members of the group, Ekaterina Samutsevich, sued Feigen, who tried to seize the team's brand, threatening to promote Pusk better than Gazprom. But something went wrong. Although the curators have done everything so that the brand does not wither and sink into oblivion, Feigen stopped defending the creative team, divorced his wife, and now, at the behest of the curators, he has turned into a mouthpiece larva, settled in Biarritz with Sotnik's leggings on his head. The French secret services are aware of his sniper exploits in Bosnia, but so far they have not touched the defendant. A hint for the curators of Mark Zakharovich, this very yet will not last forever. Other larvae of the system also continue to quietly take root in European countries. The earthworms, who were ordered to leave Latvia by the end of this year, are preparing to move their equipment to the Netherlands. But the area where the head office of Dost is now located will not be able to accommodate all the acquired property. Sindiva is preparing a new tearful appeal. This slush should soften the souls of the heads of prefectures, with whom active negotiations are now underway. The main raincoat was given a good consultation about the fact that it is not necessary to meddle in government structures. It is safer to act at the grassroots, municipal level. By the way, do the people of Amsterdam know that the head office of the Russian language TV channel is paid for with their money? However, these areas are too small, and earthworms rush towards the media park, where there is a whole block of office buildings intended for media companies, editorial offices, television studios and radio stations. We thank the staff of the TV channel for the information provided. Yes, Mrs. Sindiva, there is a rat in your team, and not alone, and while you are looking for them with dogs, we will closely monitor the development of your creative team of good Russians. Become our patrons now and look further in this program. Rashists again attacked Ukraine. This time, freshly installed Iranian shots. Like last time, they were launched from the eastern coast of the Sea of Azov. There are arrivals in Kyiv with damage to critical infrastructure. Today, Putin flew to Minsk for the first time since 2019. He needed this in order to put the squeeze on the Volvo Führer on the issue of Belarus entry into the war against Ukraine. True, the opening of the Second, Belarusian, front can change the configuration and nature of this war. While the Enodovsky Sarmatmobile was rushing around the country, with a cardboard mock-up of the Sarmat missile on the roof, something was clapping again in the Belgorod region. In the Irkutsk region, a factory burned again, and the inhabitants of Blagoveshchensk began to prepare for a nuclear strike. And the last one for today, a spy, the son of a Russian diplomat, was detained in Vienna. According to Hoyda and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, an unnamed defendant passed data to the Kremlin about the war in Ukraine. The 39-year-old Greek with Russian roots has been spying for the Russian military intelligence GRU for several years to the detriment of Austria. The suspect is allegedly the son of a former Russian GRU officer who, during his active service, was in Germany and Austria as a diplomat. According to the report, the detainee was in contact with diplomats and intelligence officials from different countries, and was in Moscow shortly before and during the Russian military invasion of Ukraine. And that is all. See the full version on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Don't forget to follow us on Daily Motion. Very soon we will give preference to this particular platform, which is not controlled by the Russian special services. Get a good VPN and watch Sotnik-TV. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.